I am also directing the State Department to begin preparation to move the American embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
Okay, do we want the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem? Green for no and red for yes, because everything's backward at the UN. Yo, guys, come on, what gives? Well, so much for American sovereignty. The United Nations staunchly opposed President Donald Trump's decision to move the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem. Days after Trump's announcement, the UN voted 128-9 to condemn him for it. In response, America's ambassador made a veiled threat.
Unlike in some UN member countries, the United States government is answerable to its people.
I think she's talking about you guys.
The United States will remember this day when so many countries come calling on us, as they so often do, to pay even more and to use our influence for their benefit.
She made 2 points. 1, the US gives more money to the UN than any other country. And 2, the UN has a history of bullying Israel. I'm Anders Hagstrom, and we are doubling down with this 2-for-1 fact check. There are 193 countries in the UN, but in the last 2 years, the United States alone has contributed 22% of its budget. The next country in line is Japan, with 9.86%. That's less than half what we give. Next, does the UN have a history of bias against Israel?
Our missiles are solely defensive deterrents.
Will you condemn Palestinians who commit terror attacks against Israelis? You should stop naming streets after terrorists.
What you are saying is as follows: when Palestinian men beat their wives, it's Israel's fault.
You use this platform to mislead the international community, to mislead the Palestinian society, to believe that Israel is responsible for the problem you create.
Between 2012 and 2015, the UN made 97 resolutions criticizing countries for their so-called wrongdoing. 83 of those resolutions were against Israel. The complaints are questionable at best, and the UN subcommittees often seem to slip into outright anti-Semitism. In 2016, their World Heritage Committee ruled that Muslims, not Jews, have a prior claim to the Temple Mount. You know, the one built by King Solomon 1,600 years before the birth of Islam? President Barack Obama may have looked the other way when the UN bossed Israel around. It doesn't look like President Trump will be so tolerant.